What's up, pencil heads? I don't normally do pencil content, but I recently picked all this stuff up at the Goodwill here, and I learned something that I wanted to talk about. So I picked up, first I got these Venus coloring pencils. I got 3 different colors, 3 boxes of those. I got these Dixon Order Book 2020 pencils. These are kind of interesting. They're pencils that were specifically made for salesmen, like traveling salesmen, to write in their order books. So these were kind of hard to find information about online. There's really not. They must have been pretty obscure. So I got 2 whole boxes of those. These are just completely full. And then I got 3 boxes of these Mephisto copying pencils. So here's an example. And I did not know what a copying pencil was. But you can see they're from Czechoslovakia, made in the USA. 73B, nope, no eraser on them. And that makes sense because a copying pencil, I learned, is a certain type of pencil that has dye in the graphite. So they mix in dye, and that makes it, for one, it makes it unerasable. For 2, they're called copying pencils because there's a method you can use of wetting a paper and then pressing it against it, and then the dye will transfer to the other paper. There's a few videos online of people demonstrating that if you want to check that out. But that's what all of these are. And that's also what these Eberhard Faber, it doesn't say what they are on here. Oh, it does. Indelible Eberhard Faber Sapphire indelible pencils, 15 cents each. Hard blue lead metal mouthpiece. And then inside, we've got the actual packaging. And I think these pencils are really beautiful. They're all pre-sharpened. And they've got this metal, forget what you call that thing, but now, indelible lead, as far as I could tell, it was used interchangeably with the copying pencils. So it just means the same thing. It has some dye in the lead so that it becomes unerasable. So I thought I'd do a little test here. Excuse my handwriting. So you can see it's blue, and I'm not going to demonstrate the copying part because you got to wet a paper and stuff. So let's see if I can erase. Obviously, you can erase the regular pencil. But the indelible lead is really, I mean, it's mostly still there. You can obviously still read it, and there's no erasing that, so I thought that was pretty interesting. The Wikipedia page, though, is made me laugh. So let's hop over to the computer here. All right, here's the wiki article for copying pencils. You can see they've been around for 155 years. There's an example of a letter that was written with one. Interesting to note, Italy still uses them for elections. And but the interesting part of the article is here. So the health risks. Indelible pencils were the cause of significant health risks due to the presence of aniline dyes. It can lead to all this stuff: kidney and liver damage, anorexia, necrosis of the tissue surrounding the wound if you got stabbed. So then it says surgery is required to remove the dye and the infected tissue, and that the necrotizing action may be so severe and extensive that amputation is necessary. So, when you were a kid and you would stab someone with a pencil and then they'd say, I'm going to get lead poisoning and die. Uh, because kids are stupid and they don't understand what graphite is and how it's not really lead and whatever. But turns out, back in the mid-century, you could get stabbed by a pencil and like literally need your arm amputated because of it. It's not good stuff. So let's take a look at this source they have here, because this made me laugh as well. So it talks about how people working in the factories would develop carcinoma for working with the dye, which is terrible. Okay, this guy here, Pose, in a general review of the subject, noted one patient who suffered severe injury from the introduction of an indelible pencil into the urethra. So you don't want that. And it's good to know that, back in 1939, there was still freaks out there. And if that didn't make you laugh, maybe the next one will. Ilkoff reported on the effects of an indelible lead pencil on the gastrointestinal tract of a patient who was given, as a joke, a beefsteak containing a piece of indelible pencil. So, we all know that classic joke, putting a pencil in the beefsteak and giving it to your friend. Everyone's done that, So, I don't know if that wiki article is maybe being a little alarmist, because this does say it's rare, but, it was reported as far back as 1914, 1922, and this is from 1939. I don't know when those pencils that I got are from. If anyone knows the vintage of those, I would appreciate it. I would guess 1940s, just by the look of everything, but I don't know. They're probably all the same vintage because they all were purchased together. They're all from the same company. But yeah, if you take anything from this video, it is do not put an indelible lead pencil into your friend's beefsteak. Do not stick a copying pencil up your urethra. Heed my advice.